Today we're going to talk about the hardest subject in economics. Not how to get rich, that's easy. We're going to talk about how to not stay poor. That's the difficult part. Because poverty isn't just about money. It's not a number in your bank account. It's not your salary. It's not even your job title. Poverty is physics. It's gravity. It's a force that pulls you downward over and over again until you are too tired to resist. If you want to understand why so many hard-working people never escape, you need to understand rocket science. When a rocket launches from Earth, it must reach a specific speed to escape gravity. That speed is called escape velocity. If the rocket reaches 99% of the required speed, do you know what happens? It doesn't get 99% of the way to space. It falls back to Earth, and it crashes. That is exactly how poverty works. You work hard, you save a little, you climb halfway up the wall, then your car breaks down, rent increases, you get sick, hours get cut, gravity kicks in, and because you didn't reach escape velocity, you fall back down, sometimes lower than before, because now you're tired, now you're discouraged, now you have less fuel. This is why just work harder doesn't work. Linear effort produces zero results inside a gravitational system. You need force, you need leverage, you need acceleration. Poverty isn't maintained by conspiracy, it's maintained by mathematics. This is Vincent speaking. I am a finance and data analyst, and after years of analyzing low income and poverty, I have come to the understanding that most people, even finance videos, always talk about how to get rich, but never talk on how to escape poverty and low income. If you must be rich, you must invest, right? But then, you need capital to invest. How do you get the capital? So the first step is to show you how to escape low income, and then we talk about wealth in our future videos. Let's break this down so you understand. Loop 1. The scarcity tax. The first chain holding people down is what I call the scarcity tax. Most people think poverty is solved with cash, but research shows something deeper. When your mind is constantly occupied by financial stress, worrying about bills, rent, food, your cognitive performance drops significantly. You're not stupid, you're overloaded. Scarcity consumes mental bandwidth. Imagine trying to solve a complex math problem while someone is shouting in your ear. That's what financial stress does. It narrows your thinking to the next 10 minutes instead of the next 10 years. And here's the cruel irony. Being poor costs more. If you can't afford to buy in bulk, you pay more per unit. If you can't afford quality boots, you buy cheap ones repeatedly. If you can't afford preventive healthcare, you pay for emergencies. You get charged late fees, overdraft fees, high interest rates. The system prices risk, and poverty is considered risk. So you run the race with a weighted vest. How do you break this first loop? You build a buffer, not a stock portfolio, not a house, a buffer. That money doesn't buy luxury, it buys mental space. When the car breaks down, it's inconvenient, not catastrophic. That difference restores cognitive power. You stop reacting, you start planning. You are buying back your brain. Loop 2, the dopamine trap. The second chain is emotional. When you live under constant stress, your body produces high levels of cortisol. You feel small, invisible, trapped. Your brain craves relief. So when you buy something new, shoes, phone, jacket, your brain releases dopamine. For a few minutes you feel powerful, seen, in control. This isn't spending, it's self-medication. But the relief fades. The debt doesn't. The dopamine lasts minutes, the payments last years. The wealthy use money to buy freedom. The struggling use money to buy feeling. Assets generate income. Liabilities generate bills. Most people trapped financially are surrounded by liabilities disguised as lifestyle. Nice car, premium phone, subscriptions, upgrades. They look successful, but they're bleeding cash. How do you break this loop? You detox. Enter what I call monk mode, temporary. For 6 months, you eliminate everything non-essential. No eating out, no new clothes, cancel subscriptions, basic living only. It will feel boring. That's the point. You are resetting your reward system. Eventually, your brain starts getting dopamine from saving money instead of spending it, from control instead of consumption. That's when you become dangerous. Because now, the system can't manipulate you with shiny objects. Loop 3. The linear income trap. Most people are taught one equation. More hours equals more money. That's linear income. It feels logical. Work overtime. Take a second job. But time is capped. You only have 24 hours. Your income ceiling is fixed. Meanwhile, expenses rise without permission. Inflation silently erodes purchasing power. Wages adjust slowly. Prices adjust instantly. You run faster. The escalator speeds up. You burn out. Linear effort cannot beat exponential systems. You must detach income from hours. The solution is skill stacking. Instead of trying to be the best at one skill, become good at multiple complementary skills. Sales plus construction, design plus marketing, coding plus communication. When you combine skills, you become rare. The market pays for rarity, not effort, not suffering. If you can be replaced easily, your income will stay low. If you build a moat around your ability, your income rises. That's leverage. Loop 4. Social gravity. You are the average of your environment, not just financially, psychologically. If everyone around you believes wealth is impossible, that belief becomes normal. Humans mirror behavior. If your circle spends impulsively, you will too. If your circle complains daily, you will too. When you try to improve, resistance appears. People mock discipline. They discourage ambition. Not because they hate you, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Escaping poverty often requires mental isolation. You don't need to abandon people, but you must protect your mind. Replace hours of negative conversation with biographies, podcasts, books. Let your average become the voices you consume. You may not change your zip code immediately, but you can change your mental neighborhood. Loop 5. The compound void. Here's the final chain. Compound interest works for you or against you. If you have credit card debt at 20%, compound interest is attacking you daily. You wake up poorer than yesterday. If you own assets generating 8% annually, compound interest is building for you daily. You wake up richer than yesterday. Most people in poverty are on the wrong side of compounding. They pay interest. They don't earn it. To escape, you must cross that line. Stage 1. Survival. Eliminate high-interest debt. Kill the bleeding. Stage 2. Accumulation. Invest small amounts consistently, even $10 per day, into low-cost index funds. Ignore noise. Ignore hype. Trust math. Stage 3. Escape velocity. When your assets generate enough to cover basic needs, gravity weakens. You have options. You have leverage. You have dignity. That is orbit. Let's review the chains. Scarcity tax drains mental bandwidth. Dopamine trap converts stress into debt. Linear income trap caps earning potential. Social gravity normalizes stagnation. Compound void reverses wealth mathematically. These forces are real, but physics works both ways. Gravity can be escaped, but not with half effort, not with 99% fuel. And most people stop pushing too early. You don't need luck, you need acceleration. You don't need to be smarter, you need leverage. You don't need to win the lottery, you need to break orbit. Once you escape, friction disappears. Income compounds, decisions improve, stress declines. And for the first time, you're not reacting to gravity, you're flying above it. That's the physics of poverty and the physics of freedom. The map is clear, the launch is painful, but orbit is quiet and worth it. Now the question is simple. Are you willing to burn enough fuel to reach escape velocity?